Hey, I'm Jake. In the last video we talked about a major problem that I was having, the Unity pink screen of death. A lot has happened since then, and we'll get into that, but before I want to start with that, I just want to thank you guys. We've actually passed 250 subscribers on this channel, which is just blowing my mind. And it's just it's going at such a fast rate now that it's just crazy in comparison to how it used to be. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys. And if you would consider subscribing, it would really mean a lot to me, and it would really help my channel to grow. Besides that, yeah, let's get into this. So in the last video I left off with me being down about the whole Unity thing. But after the last video I had a great response from you guys. A lot of people tried to give me their ideas and feedback on what I should do. Some people, specifically a user named War Symphony and Axel, they really gave me some great ideas on what to do. And basically what I ended up doing to solve the issue was just deleting Unity entirely, reinstalling it, and then I had to work through a few other minor things just to get it set up, but the pink screen itself went away. But that did lead to some very different issues. Well, I still wanted to update Unity from 2018.2 to 2019.2, but that led to a whole array of other problems. I updated my project, right? And it was working. I would build it, it would work, but when I would put it on the Android Play Store for internal testing, when I would deliver it to people, it just wouldn't run. It wouldn't even come up with the Unity splash screen. It just completely crashed. And I had the toughest time figuring out why that was happening. I mean, seriously, like, it was really weird. It would build and run on devices just fine. But when you would deploy it to the Play Store and then send it to a device through that, it wouldn't work at all. And I was using the Android app bundle, so I thought that the problem originated with that. So I tried then going back to an APK format, uploading it to the store, taking it to the phone, still the same problem. So that meant it wasn't the Android app bundle problem, but it was the APK, or like the game itself. And I was having a really tough time figuring this out. It actually took me 3 weeks. So towards the end of the 3 weeks of me trying, I tried like hundreds of different things. I mean, I worked hard and I racked my brain on what to do, and I just ended up deciding, forget it all. I'm just gonna cut out my project and just take the assets that I want, and I'm gonna just re-import them one by one to make sure, and then, you know, build from that and see what the hell was the problem, really. The problem was one piece of code, and it had to do with my sharing capabilities. I don't know why I couldn't have just said that. When I took out that one piece, or this one class that dealt with my sharing, everything ran. So while I was importing everything into a new project, 2019.2 offers some differences in what you can do when you're setting up a new project than 2018.2 did back in the day. Back with 2018.2, I was just using the standard 3D space. With 2019.2, it offered the lightweight render pipeline. That was a thing back in 2018.2, but you had to install it yourself and then do a couple other things, and I just didn't care to do that. But because of performance issues that I was having, I decided that I was going to go with the lightweight render pipeline. So I had to go back in through my textures and add in basically like fake lighting. So add in like shadows to the objects in the textures themselves. Following those issues, to really help performance, there's been something that I've kind of been pushing under the rug this entire time. I know it's been a problem on devices such as like the iPhone and lower end mobile phones. The way I'd set up my scene is that the player, when you press to start the game, it would immediately create like 7 tiles. So it would instantiate these things. And then when you pass and the other tile would go out of view, it would then send that tile to the garbage collector, and then it would instantiate another tile over here, and it would just keep doing that process. But with lower end hardware, that actually adds up really fast, and it makes it really hard to do anything, because I mean, basically it's not even just the tiles, it's every car, every civilian, every coin, gets deleted and instantiated. I mean, there's thousands of coins every time you play the game. So, I mean, you're sending a ton of stuff to the garbage collector and you're instantiating objects constantly at a fast rate, especially as you progress in the game and you get progressively faster. So I needed a way to fix this, and I decided to incorporate a process called object pooling. So to do this, I just created a simple class. It's called tile. It just asks for a name and a prefab, and it goes through a simple constructor that just sets them. And basically here, when I call this function, add to list, it'll just add the tile I want with the prefab to the various lists of object pools that I have. And it's used with my previous script, my tile manager script, that just deals with loading it and deleting it from the scene. And I had to change a few things. It was a little complicated, and I got it working, and then I set it up for the tile pool. You can see it right here. These are all of my different all of my different lists that I have of objects that are to be pooled. Right now you can see that by default at the beginning I just have it set to 1. So that means that when you first open the game, it'll just load one of each tile into the scene. But from there, I have it through my scripts that when it instantiates it, it just adds it to these lists, and from there it goes. And what it's going to do is it's going to cycle through all of the tiles that I do have in the scene. It'll check if one's being used. If it's being used, it's going to go to the next one. And if that one hasn't been used, it'll load that one in the place that I want it to be. And if it goes through the entire list and all of them are being used at the time and it still wants that type of tile, it'll then instantiate a new one and add it to the back of the list. So pretty good. I'll show how this, I'll show a little bit of it working here. So you can see that I just loaded all of these tiles into the scene. So as you can see, the tile, it's loaded, it's made 5, it's added to the list of this one, it's made 2 of these tiles, and it's made 1 of those. But that's all basically random. It can create as many of each individual tile as it wants, but it always keeps a reference to them and then cycles between them. So it doesn't make like a ton of objects because it doesn't need to. And that way the garbage collector is drastically reduced and everything is just generally better on performance. There's still some room for improvement with performance, and I think when I actually do object pooling for all of the objects, including the coins, civilians, and cars, I think performance will be a lot better. And I can also try a few other points to see about improving my performance and fixing my game. And yeah, I would just like to thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to check out my other game, Crosswalk the Game, it is live on the App Store right now. You can go and download it. It's free. If not, that's okay. I've started a Discord server. There's not a lot of people in it, but if you want to talk to me in a more personal way, go ahead, check it out. And yeah, thanks for watching.